Hey guys, this is Amit from Grover Impact Ventures. How are you today?
Very, very well.
How's it going at the Dubai Fintech Summit?
It's always a pleasure being here. I've been a part of the second event last year I attended. It's much larger this time, so it's fantastic.
Turnout is great, right? It's thousands of people, I think.
I think it's a testimonial of how the UAE is waking up to financial inclusion and financial technology and how many stakeholders are taking part in it.
You've been in the region for a while, right? So you've seen that growth and that evolution?
Absolutely. I've been here for about 7 years, and that's enough time to look at the entire transition of where the region is going with, financial technology and financial inclusion.
And tell me about your company and Grover Impact and what you guys are doing.
So as the name suggests, we are all about impact. We are all about investing in ventures that create a positive impact. So what's relevant is talk about the fintech aspect of our ventures. I'm a part of a fund in Singapore that does a lot of fintech investments in Asia. And one of the big motivating forces behind that is financial inclusion. Of course, we invest in all the latest technologies on banking, on finance. But I think what's really interesting is investing in financial technology that's creating a positive change in the world. And financial inclusion is a big area that we are trying to drive.
And what in particular, like what pain point when it comes to inclusion are you guys targeting?
So a lot, in fact, majority of people living in Asia, in the developing world, are not included in the financial technology platforms that we talk about.
So they don't have like bank accounts, you mean? Or what does that mean?
It could be multitude of problems. So bank accounts are one of them. Financial literacy is another aspect of it, and so many other aspects. So educating customers to come on financial platforms, educating customers on the digitization of that platform, and helping banks bridge that gap with their customers that are not part of that inclusion process, and building platforms that are easy, that's manageable for both the bank and the customers as a seamless transition.
Okay. And so what's your role in helping the economy become more literate?
I think the more people you add in an economy to the financial system and the financial banking, it obviously takes the gross domestic product of the economy and enhances the economy, because more people are now starting to bank, now starting to pay taxes, now starting to avail products. So for example, if you look at loans and you look at the farming community or small, medium businesses that access loans from central government, they've got the least default rate. The biggest default rates are actually with the corporates. The smaller you are, the least likely are you to default, because reputation matters to access again loans. So seamlessly transitioning that process electronically that can be monitored, managed, in a way that getting loans and servicing loans and repaying loans are possible. That's just one of the facets of financial inclusion, among many other. So, that's what we are trying to do in Asia.
And what about in the crypto industry? Is there anything that you're focusing on in particular?
Not really. Now, when we talk about crypto, the platforms that crypto and NFTs and DeFi works on is blockchain. So I wouldn't say particularly we are trying to do something in crypto, but we are definitely using blockchain and transforming traditional businesses into blockchain. Some of the ventures that we invest in, we are talking to them about how they could bring their ventures on the blockchain platform and, kind of come up with Web3. Not particular so much with currency, but also tokenization is an important aspect that we are talking about now. But look, given the state of the world right now, and given the fact that banks are folding up, it's not really a very happy-go-lucky situation. So I think blockchain is important for us. Digitizing businesses are important for us. And getting traditional business on Web3 is important to us. I think crypto and NFTs come automatically with it. So, yeah.
You mentioned tokenization. So what exactly are you tokenizing?
So we are working on this concept of helping ventures access IPO, which is initial public offering, at a much earlier stage in their business life cycle. And the way that we are trying to do it is tokenizing their shares and offering it to the public to invest in. So for example, if I want to set up an ice cream store, I can tokenize my shares, and you, your brother, your friend, your sister, your mates can kind of come and invest in that token and help me raise that capital to be able to build my business. Just as a very simple grassroots example, I don't invest in ice cream shops, but just to kind of for the viewers to understand that easy. So what we are trying to do is work on a method which is initial public offering at a very early stage in the business. Typically right now, initial public offering happens at a very late stage in the business when they become a multi-million-dollar business and they want to raise public money. So we are looking at Web3 and tokenization as a way to kind of fast-track the process far early on in their life cycle.
Well, but there is initial coin offering, ICOs already.
Yes, I mean, there is, but one coin doesn't solve everybody's problem.
Sure.
So I think the appetite is vast, the appetite is big, and what we want to do is start with a pilot project in Dubai and scale it up across the UAE before we take it to Saudi and Kuwait and maybe even Egypt.
Okay, and then you mentioned that you are also dealing in Singapore. So could you talk a little bit about maybe the differences between the ecosystem there and here in Dubai?
I think to a certain extent it's quite similar. However, I feel a stark difference is the access to human capital and the quality of human capital. I mean, Singapore probably attracts some of the best talent in the world, at par with America, at par with Europe. The universities are some of the best in the world and some of the toughest to get into and crack. So by the virtue of that, I personally find the quality of talent very, very high. I mean, I joke about it in my circle that if you're a young lad starting off your career, spend a few years in Singapore, you're going to be 100 miles ahead of the herd.
I was actually just there for the first time a few weeks ago, and I had a great time. I enjoyed the city. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.